Sasha. So today I have a book review for you guys, and I will be reviewing the first book in the Familiar series. This one's called One Rainy Day in May, and this is by Mark C. Danielewski. Now this book is the first book in what's going to be a 27 long book series. I know, it's insane. And this author wrote House of Leaves. If you've ever read that book, I've never read that book, but I was very excited to read this because he has a very interesting writing style, which I will get to and show you. So this book is humongous. It's over 800 pages, but I ended up reading this book in like 3 days. I flew through it. Yeah, and I actually ended up really liking it. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, let's talk about it. I'm gonna put it down because this book is insanely heavy. This book, you're following about 9 different characters, and they're all over the world, and it takes place literally one day in May. It starts off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it goes through the entire day, switches perspectives, switches scenes, switches places, and it ends around midnight on that day. And although you're following all these different characters, the main storyline follows this one young girl who's 12 years old named Xanther. And she's very odd. She likes to ask a lot of questions. She's very curious about the world. She also suffers from epilepsy. So her dad and her mom decide to get her a dog, and they're on their way to get a dog, and things start to get a little bit creepy. Like, you can just kind of tell something's going on with all these different perspectives. It jumps around, and then she ends up finding this cat, and the story stops there where she finds this cat, and definitely things are creepy about this cat. You're not sure what. There's a lot of tension in the book. You don't even know why, but it's there and it's amazing. So like I said, it follows 9 different characters, and these colors on the tab, I'll probably do a close-up, but the colors here are the different characters that you have. You have Xanther's perspective, which is the young girl. You have her dad's perspective, her mom's perspective. You have perspective of a police officer. You have a perspective of what I get from it, he's a Latin gang member. You get the perspective of this strange man in China. I don't even really know what his storyline is about. There's this guy in Mexico, and there's also these people who have this sort of like strange religion, kind of, where they follow this orb. So their section is written like with this orb in the pages, and it's very strange. So getting into that, all the perspectives have completely different writing styles and different fonts, different formats, how they're laid out. And that makes it pretty difficult to read. Some sections are a lot easier to understand, like Xanther's perspective. Hers is really easy, but it's also written really cool. Like, let me show you this one page here. In the beginning, when it's raining, he uses, like, the rain is made out of questions because she's constantly asking questions. And it's amazing that he's able to do this and give you the feeling of what he's trying to say with his words through how the words are laid out, if that makes sense. So I probably do close up, but this also has these photos, which every new section you have this photo, the title of the chapter, and then a random quote, which I'm not even sure how some of these quotes fit in with the story yet. Go like this. Let me just say that these 3 pink dots, I've never been so creeped out by 3 pink dots before. It was very creepy. So here's like another example of just how strange it is. The man in China is probably the most difficult one because it's written, what I got from it, I think it's written how it would kind of phonetically sound if a Chinese man is trying to speak English, and that's how it's written out. It's very hard to understand, but it's also, I don't know, it just made it kind of fun because you feel like you're actually there in Singapore with him trying to figure out his story. And you also have the Mandarin written out, and Daniel, the author, doesn't translate it for you, some of them, and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I don't know what they're going to be talking about for those pages. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Now, for those people who are even curious about it, I definitely recommend it. I think it's worth the read. It's really long, but you're definitely going to have to commit yourself to it. Like, you're going to have to give yourself, your brain, some time to work through it and get through it. But not every section is extremely difficult. It's just some sections that I really had to like focus on. Yeah, so this book, I don't think you're really supposed to know exactly what's going on because it is the first book in a very long series, and he's just setting it all up, setting up all the characters, setting up her finding the kitten, which I think is gonna have a really, I think this kitten is gonna be like really messed up. But yeah, so I think this has the lowest rating. So far he has 3 books out. The 4th book comes out in February, and the first book has the lowest ratings on Goodreads, but the 2nd and 3rd book have almost 5 stars on Goodreads. So I think they only get better because you're used to his style, you're used to the characters, you know what's going on, and I don't think he's like has to set it up like this. And Mark Z. Danielewski wrote this series in the hopes of trying to compete with TV because he wants people to read more. So he has this experimental layout, these crazy pictures and things like that, so that it's kind of like watching a TV show, which I could see that, definitely. I can't wait to pick up the 2nd one and the 3rd one, and I hopefully will be reading this as they come out. He is releasing a new book every 6 months. So, I mean, this is gonna last for years, which is really crazy to think about. If I stick to it and I'll follow this entire series, it's amazing. Another thing that I found really surprising about this book is that he has so many relevant references. There we go, references. Like, he references Harry Potter, Breaking Bad in this. There's a quote from Lady Gaga in here. I mean, all of social media is in here. It's really interesting. I wasn't expecting that, so I really like that aspect. Okay guys, so that's my review. I hope I didn't leave anything out. Let me know if you are curious about this book or if you have read it, because I would love to talk to you about it. I cannot wait to pick up the 2nd book. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Thank you.